You wake up, reach for your bag, and feel a sense of control because you prepared. Inside that bag are items you believe will keep you alive when everything else fails. A flashlight, a knife, a radio, maybe even a survival kit you bought online. It feels logical, rational, even responsible, because preparation creates the illusion of control over uncertain systems. But here's the part nobody talks about. Most survival gear is designed for stable emergencies, not collapsing systems. Temporary outages, short disruptions, controlled environments, not long-term system failure. And when systems fail completely, usefulness changes instantly. Items that felt essential become weight. Tools become liabilities. And the difference between useful and useless becomes lethal. Because survival isn't about what you have. It's about what still works when systems don't. And most people don't realize their gear failed them until it's too late. Because the failure isn't obvious at first. It reveals itself gradually, then all at once. This isn't a projection. It's a pattern. And we analyzed that pattern across real-world failures, collapse scenarios, and infrastructure breakdowns. And what we found was consistent. Certain items didn't just lose value. They actively reduced survival chances. Because they consumed energy, space, and attention without providing functional return. So this isn't a gear list. It's a system failure analysis. 10 items that people trust, that fail first, and in the wrong moment, get you killed. The countdown begins. People don't notice useless gear because it works perfectly right up until it doesn't. Because usefulness is judged in stable conditions, not failure conditions. And most survival items are tested in controlled scenarios, not real systemic collapse. Here's the part nobody talks about. Failure doesn't happen when you expect it. It happens when conditions exceed design limits. And most gear is built with assumptions that no longer exist during collapse. So we broke this down using measurable survival metrics. Not opinion, not preference, but functional performance under stress. For metrics determine whether an item helps or kills. First, dependency. Does the item rely on external systems to function? Second, durability. How long it survives under continuous stress. Third, efficiency. How much energy it consumes versus what it provides. And fourth, redundancy. Whether alternatives exist when it fails. Most survival items fail at least 2 of these. Some fail all 4. And those are the ones that get people killed first. So we ran the data across real-world conditions. And certain items didn't just perform poorly. They collapsed the scale completely, meaning the moment you rely on them, your survival probability drops immediately. So we ranked them from least dangerous to most lethal. And number 10 starts with something almost everyone carries: a portable emergency radio. It feels essential because information feels like control. And in stable systems, communication saves lives. But in collapse conditions, the system behind the signal disappears first. Radio towers require power, maintenance, and coordination. Remove those and the radio becomes dead weight. It still works technically, but it provides nothing. The contradiction is subtle. Function without system is useless. Worst case scenario, you wait for information that never comes. And that delay costs you your only window to act. Number 9 is multi-tool kits. They promise versatility, multiple functions in one compact design. But here's the failure point. Each function is weaker than a dedicated tool. Because space efficiency sacrifices performance. Under stress, they fail faster. And when one part breaks, the entire system becomes unreliable. The contradiction is clear. More functions, less reliability. Worst case scenario, you depend on it in a critical moment, and it fails when precision matters most. Not gradually, but instantly. Number 8 is portable solar chargers. They promise independence from power grids, energy without infrastructure. But here's the failure point. Solar efficiency depends on consistent exposure, clear skies, stable positioning, and time, but collapse environments reduce all 3. Dust in the atmosphere blocks sunlight. Weather becomes unpredictable, and time becomes limited. Charging that should take hours takes days. The contradiction is simple. Infinite energy source. Finite usability. Worst case scenario, you depend on it for critical power, and it fails silently. Number 7 is tactical flashlights. They feel essential. Visibility equals safety. But light creates exposure. It reveals your position instantly, especially in low-light environments. Here's the mechanism. Human eyes adapt to darkness over time, but artificial light resets that adaptation, creating dependence on the tool and draining batteries quickly. The contradiction is dangerous. More visibility, less stealth. Worst case scenario, it works perfectly, and that's exactly the problem. Number 6 is prepackaged survival food kits. They promise long shelf life and balanced nutrition, but here's the flaw. They require water, sometimes heat, and time to prepare. All three become limited during collapse. Without water, they're unusable. Without heat, they're inefficient. Without time, they're irrelevant. The contradiction is clear. Stored calories, blocked access. Worst case scenario, you carry food you cannot eat while your body runs out of energy. Number 5 is survival knives built for combat, not survival. They look powerful, heavy, and reliable. Thick blades, aggressive edges, designed to cut through resistance. In controlled environments, they perform well, but survival is not controlled. It's repetitive, exhausting, and mechanical. Cutting wood, shaping materials, constant use under stress conditions. Heavy blades require more energy over time, more force, more effort. That effort accumulates. Fatigue builds faster than expected, and precision begins to drop. Survival is not about one powerful action, it's about hundreds of small actions repeated continuously. The wrong tool multiplies energy loss, and energy is the most limited resource. A heavier knife feels stronger, but strength becomes irrelevant when it drains you faster. The contradiction is simple: more power, less efficiency. Efficiency determines how long you last. And when energy drops below recovery level, your body cannot maintain output. At that point, survival stops being strategic and then becomes physical failure. Worst case scenario, you rely on it repeatedly. Your energy declines below critical threshold. Your movement slow, reaction time increases, and decision-making degrades. And in collapse conditions, slowing down is not gradual failure. It is a tipping point, because once your system falls behind, the environment does not adjust for you. Number 4 is water filtration straws. They are marketed as instant survival tools. Drink directly from any source without preparation, no delay. It sounds efficient and logical, but it relies on a hidden assumption that water is available, not clean, just available, and that assumption fails quickly in real collapse conditions. Because water systems don't just become contaminated, they disappear. Pressure systems fail, pipelines stop, and distribution collapses. Natural sources become unreliable. Seasonal shifts reduce access, overuse drains reserves. What was once available becomes inconsistent or completely gone, and tools that depend on availability fail instantly when that condition breaks. A filtration straw does not store water, it only processes what exists. When there is no source, the tool has no function, no warning, no gradual decline, just immediate uselessness. The contradiction becomes critical: infinite filtering ability, zero stored resource, function. Without supply becomes irrelevant in real survival conditions. Worst case scenario, you reach a location expecting water, but the source is gone. And now you carry a tool that solves a problem that no longer exists, while ignoring the real problem: lack of supply, because survival depends on access, not processing capability, and access is never guaranteed. Number 3 is body armor. It feels like protection, security against threats, something that increases survival probability, but protection introduces trade-offs. Weight increases, heat builds, mobility decreases, endurance drops. In short-term situations, these costs are manageable, but in long-term collapse, they accumulate faster than benefits. Movement slows, energy consumption rises, heat builds under constant wear. Fatigue increases with every step, and here's the failure point: Most threats are not sudden attacks. They are prolonged conditions. Hunger, dehydration, exhaustion, and armor does not protect against these. It amplifies them by increasing strain on the body. The contradiction is dangerous. More protection, less endurance. And endurance determines survival over time, because collapse is not a moment, it is a duration. And anything that reduces duration reduces survival probability. The system shifts from protection to limitation without you realizing it immediately. Worst case scenario, you survive the threat you prepared for, but lose to the conditions you didn't. Because the system is not combat-based, it is endurance-based, and endurance punishes inefficiency faster than danger itself. The system was never built for sustained survival under weight and restriction. Number 2 is fire starters that depend on perfect conditions to function properly in real survival environments. They are compact, lightweight, and designed for controlled ignition in stable conditions with predictable environmental factors. But real collapse environments introduce unpredictable variables that these tools are not designed to handle effectively under pressure. Wind disrupts sparks, preventing stable ignition and stopping flame formation before it can spread into a sustainable fire source. Moisture in materials blocks combustion, even when ignition attempts are repeated multiple times with increasing effort and frustration. And time becomes limited as environmental instability increases pressure, reducing your ability to attempt ignition repeatedly without consequences. These tools assume access to dry fuel, stable air conditions, and sufficient time to execute the process successfully. But collapse removes those assumptions quickly, turning a reliable tool into an inconsistent and energy-consuming liability without warning signs. The contradiction is subtle but critical. Portable fire capability exists, but execution becomes unreliable under real-world stress conditions. Worst-case scenario, you depend on fire for warmth or survival, but ignition fails when conditions matter the most. Number 1 is the most dangerous failure point. Overloaded survival backpacks filled with excessive gear and unnecessary redundancy. They represent preparation, control, and readiness, giving the illusion that carrying more increases survival probability in uncertain environments. But they fail across every survival metric simultaneously, creating compounded inefficiencies that reduce survival instead of increasing it. Weight reduces mobility immediately, increasing energy consumption with every step and limiting your ability to move efficiently across terrain. Every additional kilogram increases fatigue, pushing your body closer to exhaustion faster than recovery can compensate under limited resource conditions. Complexity increases decision load, forcing you to choose between too many options when time-sensitive decisions require immediate action. Too many tools reduce reaction speed, because selection time replaces action time in critical moments where seconds determine outcomes. Dependency forms on items that may fail, creating reliance on systems that no longer exist in collapsed environments. Redundancy becomes inefficient when duplication adds weight without increasing function, turning preparation into unnecessary burden over time. The contradiction is absolute. More preparation leads to less survivability when systems demand efficiency rather than accumulation. Survival depends on mobility, not storage, because movement determines access to resources, safety, and opportunity in unstable environments. Worst case scenario, you carry everything you need, but cannot physically reach the location where survival becomes possible. This pattern has already happened before in real-world failures across multiple systems, showing consistent breakdown under stress conditions. Scarcity appears first, reducing access to essential resources and forcing rapid behavioral changes among populations. Under pressure, then behavior changes, increasing unpredictability and reducing cooperation as systems fail to support basic human needs. Consistently, infrastructure collapses next, removing the systems that tools depend on, causing previously useful items to fail immediately. And tools fail with those systems, not gradually but instantly, because their function depends on conditions that no longer exist. This isn't a projection. It is a trend observed repeatedly across different environments and different types of systemic collapse scenarios. So understand the system you depend on, reduce dependency, prioritize efficiency, and act before failure becomes visible. Because systems do not warn before they fail, they collapse first. And only then does the reality become clear. The warning doesn't come first, the failure does, and by then, most people are already inside the collapse.